its ups and downs. Turn your pretty face into an ugly frown. Seems that when I fix one thing,
Hello, welcome to The Awakening. I'm your host, Angela Brown. Today's topic is a serious one. And since it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I have a wonderful lady who works here and I know pretty well. She's been a survivor of cancer. Her name is Jan, and we're just going to call her Jan today, and we're going to get all the pros and cons out to you that we possibly can. We're going to get her feelings out there, and I hope you will sit back there. And I don't want you just to enjoy the show. I want you to put that show in your heart. And make sure you get out there and get a mammogram and do a breast exam. So I hope you enjoy the show. Hi, Jan.
Hi, thanks so much for letting me be on the
Oh,
show.
it's my honor.
I feel like this will be my chance to have almost like a service announcement time.
Oh, that's wonderful. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, right now I'm the Bowie Community Media Corporation's Executive Director.
Good girl.
Today I'm here in the capacity of a 15-year breast cancer survivor.
Okay. Do you have children?
I do. They're grown.
Okay.
My son is 42.
No.
And
Jan, you're pulling my leg.
No. And then my daughter is almost 38.
But you don't look it. Honest to God,
Thank
you don't. I thought you were about 40.
Makeup helps.
I thought you were about 45 years old.
Oh, no, thank
Honest
you.
to God, I did. I didn't think that. All right, let's get down to the seriousness. How serious is breast cancer? I think you said 1 in 3 women in their lifetime will experience breast cancer.
Yes. And as I said, as being a 15-year survivor, it was, frankly, the percentage was not as high 15 years ago. I'm not sure exactly why the difference. And some of it may simply be that even though it is somewhat controversial, mammograms, it's still what saved me. That is how they discovered that I had the early stages of cancer, is through a mammogram. You couldn't feel it. I did at that time and still do.
Did you feel monthly, a lump in your breast?
No. Monthly, no. So I'm talking, this was like if you cut off your fingernail, it was like that size, but it showed up on the mammogram as something that was puzzling to them. And so they really wanted to do a second mammogram, which I'm like, oh yeah, because the first one was such a joy. You know, you really want to do a second one.
Doesn't it hurt when they clamp your breast down in that machine?
Well, yes. And they, really had to do this. And the other silly thing was this particular portion of my breast was like very high up.
Oh.
So to try and think about, compressing that part of your skin
that's horrible.
In that, horrible device.
Yeah.
Because, it is just
horrible. It's a horrible device. It hurts.
It is. You just have to go, okay, I'm doing a mammogram today, and get yourself, in that mindset. But yes, so I am, I'm an advocate. Yes, I believe that, that they probably do need to improve it. And oh my goodness, I wish they would have some kind of funding so that it wasn't such a horrible medieval type device.
Yeah, because it really hurts. It really hurts. Feels like someone has snapped your breast in a door.
That's part of the reason, why you just sort of don't really want to do it is the level of uncomfortableness.
Where did you go to get yours done?
I just went to, here in Bowie, to the center that they had just, regular screenings for that kind of thing. Then once I got involved with having breast cancer, I now go to the University of Maryland Medical Center in Baltimore because they're the ones that coordinated treatment. They're the ones that, at the time, 15 years ago, I found my surgeon.
I bet you have a good one, don't you?
So yes, she's now moved to California, unfortunately, because, I would definitely recommend her to the world. But that's sort of the other thing is at least 15 years ago, when I got this diagnosis of breast cancer, I really needed to get more involved than I thought I was going to have to do. I was sent back to my gynecologist to basically say I really needed to, the next step in this is I really needed to have a biopsy done.
Okay.
Just a needle biopsy where they just stick like a little needle in. They put you under local anesthetic. And I had that done at Prince George's Hospital in Largo. And my gynecologist said, you know, that since this was sort of not that big of a deal to just do this, that she would recommend a surgeon. Well, unfortunately, the surgeon that she recommended was, I would say, someone that had a God complex to the max. And he basically set me off on a tangent that was such a delay in my mindset of how to move forward, because his idea was that if you've been diagnosed with breast cancer, that you should think of your breasts as the enemy, as two guns basically forming like you would shoot. You know, and so that is your, you know, something that should just be eliminated. And so that was his mindset, and he wanted it to be mine. Was basically I should just lop off both breasts,
Give up both of your breasts.
give up both breasts, and he sent me to, and I said, well, you know, then what do you do? Okay, you know, if this is what you're recommending, because at this time I was buying into his recommendation.
Right.
And so they sent me to a plastic surgeon who basically told
basically
told me that at that point the reconstruction could be done with my own tissues by basically
removing skin from your body, I guess.
No, just pulling everything up like you would pantyhose. Everything just gets pulled
Makes
up.
you two new breasts.
Yeah, just pulled up. All the skin just gets sliced here, and everything gets pulled up like it would pantyhose. And,
you can laugh about it now, but I bet you were scared to death.
Yes, but it was so ludicrous that I actually was laughing there. And then,
so what did he say when you were laughing at him?
And then, well, the plastic surgeon, of course, said, well, and while we're doing this, and while you're, you know, under the knife doing this, you know, we can do some cleanup. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, because again, this was 15 years ago. Now, of course, you know, every time I look in the mirror, and of course, gravity has, you know, been an incident.
Yes.
And so
gravity
I'm thinking,
isn't kind
why
to us
in the world didn't I have, you know, my skin pulled up?
Kill two birds with one stone. Get a body lift at the same time.
Exactly. So, you know, I went through that experience, and I thought, whoa, I'm taking a step back here, and I am finding a surgeon that at this point is not such a radical theorist.
You have a great attitude about this, though.
So,
weren't you scared to death, though?
I was scared. I was definitely thinking, okay, you know, this is it. It's a death sentence. I did have to go see family. My surgeon, once I located her, said, you know, I understand you're fearful about this, she said, and I understand that, you know, you want to just go see family, because my family was all in Nebraska, and most of them are. So it's not like, you know, they were around the corner. So I thought, okay, I do want to do that before I start this. And then basically what we decided on is that we would have a lumpectomy. We would follow that up. And again, because it was 15 years ago, it might not be necessary for somebody having a lumpectomy to have both chemo and radiation, but I did.
You took both?
Yeah, she recommended both. I was at this point, you know, her disciple, because I had been through the mill of interviewing surgeons, because that is what I ended up doing once I got back.
It had to affect your whole lifestyle, too.
Well, yes. I mean, and it was like such a sort of switch, because I had been of the mindset that if a doctor recommended something, that they're the ones that had the education, they're the ones that had the most current information, they're the ones that would have, you know, the right idea and where to go and all of this. But they still have their own bias.
Okay.
And that is what you have to get past. If you want to think about other types of treatments or that sort of thing, because there is different things out there. You have to find medical components that sort of fit with your philosophy. And sort of the more that you can embrace that, the better you are, as long as you're not going to jeopardize your health.
Yes.
You know, but there isn't just one answer for everybody.
So it's up to each person to decide which road they're going to take.
And even like in talking to other people, that's helpful, because I would recommend that everybody that has that diagnosis or a friend with that diagnosis seek a support group. You know, nowadays you can do it online, but at least you have somebody that's going through a similar thing to discuss it, and frankly, you're not boring family and friends.
So what was your final decision, though? You had the lumpectomy.
Yes.
You didn't give away your breast.
Correct.
You still had both of them.
And I went through chemo and radiation.
How long did you go through chemo?
I went through 4 months of chemo. I had chemo every 2 weeks, because the chemo depletes your red blood cell count.
Oh my gosh.
And your white blood cell count. And so you have to basically allow time for recovery. And honestly, they said, you know, that you need to basically eat properly and all of this, and not be stressed, because all of that can frankly affect your ability
But how can a woman not be stressed?
Oh, you can't. I mean, you can't not be stressed, but you also need to try and find tools. This is basically when I discovered meditation, because I wanted to be very much involved in the healing process. And my surgeon was excellent. She certainly was. I mean, she graduated from Harvard. She was like top notch, but she also was like really interested in the fact that you needed to look at other things, other components that that you could utilize, because the first thing you need to figure out is a way to get control back. You're turning control over to your surgeon. You're turning control over to the hospital, to people that are doing chemo. You're turning control over to like everybody, and things are out of your control.
Right.
So the things that you can control, the faster you can sort of, you know, realize that, the better. And it gives you sort of yourself back.
Gives you strength too, I would think.
Yes.
Were you living in this area or in Nebraska?
No, I was living in this area, absolutely. So I would say that I wasn't necessarily in denial, because I was certainly working through, but my goal was not to inconvenience anybody. I would just,
really?
Yes, I would just have this little blip in my life, and try not to inconvenience anybody.
Right.
Well, that was just really stupid on my part.
Really?
Yeah.
But you were taking over the power. It was your body. It was your decision what to do.
Oh, I know. But there still could have been sort of like, not that I'm making it equal to a death, but it's sort of the same way is people want to help you, friends, family want to help you, but it is a case of where they sort of are clueless on how they might do that.
Unless somebody's been through the same thing, they have no answers.
Unless somebody's been through that, and we're at the end of the show going to have a telephone number and a website for Susan G. Komen.